Okay, meeting will come to order. Before we start a regular business meeting, there are a few rules that we're going to follow. And Linda, would you please read the rules of the Upton Housing Authority?
Okay, this was per our attorney. The Upton Housing Authority adopts the following policy concerning rules to be followed at the board meetings. 1, 5 minutes for the CRTA to speak concerning issues that would need to be addressed. Should the CRTA feel as if more time would be needed and allotted for discussion on any issue, policy, etc., please inform the director beforehand so that time would be allowed. Number 2, 2 minutes rule for additional comments or concerns by residents who have not gone through the CRTA. We do encourage residents going through the tenant association with any concerns they may have and wish to have addressed. The Upton Housing Authority hopes that this new policy will help to streamline and have the board meetings run more smoothly and be much more peaceful. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, amen to that.
Okay. I think we ought to add a little bit to that, also, that we have no foul language, no racial slurs, and possibly no swearing, and that would be also very good.
And if you have anything to speak out about, you are to stay where you are and speak about it. Stand.
Okay? So with that, we'll have to roll call. Judy McGee?
Here.
Here. Rita Richards?
Here.
Linda Jones?
Here.
Rick Kennedy?
Yeah.
Betty Roach?
Yeah.
Myself, Mildred Moore and Gallery. We're all here. Okay? The minutes?
The Upton Housing Authority minutes from December 14th, present were Mildred, Judy, Rena, Linda Jones, Richard Kennedy, and Betty Roach were absent. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. Rena Richard read aloud the minutes at the last meeting. Linda Jones made a motion to accept the minutes of the November 16th meeting. Rena seconded the motion. The board voted, passed unanimously. Gee, I seem to make a lot of motions, don't I? Rena Richard made a motion to accept the accounts payable report for November. The board voted and the motion was passed. On regular business, the low-flow toilets have been installed. Dean is working on installing the new shower heads and should be completed soon. Christmas tree for the community room has been donated by the family of Virginia Leoch. The Housing Authority is very grateful for the beautiful tree and for their thoughtfulness and generosity in donating it to us. Millie spoke on behalf of anger issues between tenants, not an issue to be brought before the board. This is one that needs to be worked out amongst themselves. CRTA. Vinnie Mancini is out with a medical issue. Emily Maroney taught the residents an art project in the community room, and it was a fun time for all who attended. Thank you, Emily. More discussion on the grievance panel. The Upton Housing Authority is still having difficulty in attaining members for their panel. CRTA and UHA are doing what we can to complete this task. Millie Gallione and Evie Squadrille spoke concerning the grounds policy. CRTA budget is complete and they will submit receipts they have for the previous year. Additional. Glenn Fowler, not a resident of the Housing Authority, videographer of the town, approached the board on more than one occasion with what he claims to be concerns he has with how the Housing Authority is handling certain issues. The chair explained to him that she knows what she's doing and reminded him of the last conversation she had with him. Glenn Fowler brought up concerns of his as to who would be liable if issues were to arise on the grounds of the area where tenants are parking. The chair questioned him on his intentions and possible outcome of his actions concerning the parking area. Glenn also stated to the chair that he is able to control Pamela because she listens to him. He eventually agreed to making the statement to the chair. Linda Jones made a motion to close the meeting. Rena seconded the motion, and the meeting was adjourned. The next board meeting is to be held on January 11th at 6 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Betty Roach.
Anyone note any errors or omissions in the minutes as stated?
I think most of the quotes about my issues were completely out of context and totally erroneous to what was actually transpired.
Okay, what would
I
you
would
like us to, how did you,
What would you like to have us correct?
I would submit the video recording of the proceedings as the official record.
how would you like us to amend this?
Well, one, I had a concern about parking, which had to do with what happens if the owner of the lot next door decides to revoke use of that lot. That was my concern. Did you have a strategy on what to do if and when that happens? And if you had any plan for dealing with it when it does happen?
Okay.
The other issue, I forgot what you said, but, I didn't-
Anyway.
Yeah.
How do you want him, do you want him to write?
Well, what do you want?
What's the change?
Because that's what we talked about.
Well, I was asking at the time, do you have a strategy of what to do if and when the owner of the lot you're using for parking revokes your privileges? Do you have a plan to deal with that if and when it happens?
Well, I think the board is trying to work out a plan, and I really don't think right now that we have to answer you at this time,
No was a perfectly good answer.
you know. Well,
But-
we are trying to work things out,
Okay,
and
You state
that is the answer,
okay, that's fine, that's all I asked.
okay?
I have a question about, what was the comment? Would you reread what you wrote, said something about Mr. Fowler and myself? How did you write?
Well, it says here, it says,
Yes,
I'm only reading what was
I
written.
know you are.
Okay.
Betty
Glenn
Roach.
also stated to the chair that he is able to control Pamela Goodwin because she listens to him.
Well,
That's true.
she does listen to me, but I can't control her any more than I can control you.
well,
I have a question. Why is there no mention of the mandate that came from DHCD about the three-member panel? That was
oh,
submitted.
that's a different,
No, it's,
we're
you
not talking
just read
about
the
that.
minutes.
We'll get to that.
And, no, but it was, read the minutes that said something about you're looking for alternates or panelists. Would you read that again?
There was more discussion of the grievance panel. The Upton Housing Authority is still having difficulty in attaining members for our panel. CRTA and UHA are doing what we can to complete this task, is what this says.
That's totally wrong. Ms. Roach was not here at the last meeting. The letter was a mandate by Amy Stigley saying there will be a three-member panel and not a single hearing officer. It also states that there were lots of alternatives and lots of other panelists.
Yeah.
So why do the records not even talk about any of that and say we're still searching for
What did you
people?
use for this?
I went by the notes that were taken, but
I think
there was
that-
also submitted another,
Wait a minute, I'm still not here. Did I try to?
Hold it, one thing at a
Well,
time.
everybody's talking.
Do you have the video of this?
I
Of-
do.
of
oh, we saw it
last-
on TV.
Oh,
We saw it on
yeah.
video.
There's some.
Yeah.
It's on the town website, 24/7.
Margarita Morales gave the letter to you
let's-
guys and to John.
Okay.
She was here last month.
Yes.
Yes, and I think we passed on that, because if I remember correctly, I said that I had called Frank Adiello, I think his name is Frank Adiello, several times. I called, and one time the person answered the phone, and I said, this is Mildred Gallione from the Upton Housing Authority, and first the person answered and said hello, and then of course when I said my name, there was no longer a person on the phone. And then the next time I called, there was a it sounded like a fax line, and then nobody called again. So then I decided I would call back again, and nobody answered again, and there was absolutely silence.
Well, I believe that Rena also tried to call, and then Rena
I've
also
spoken.
said she sent a note.
Yes,
Yeah.
I tried to call,
Yeah.
and I did, I talked to Mrs. Desjardins, and I've talked to her since, okay, and she told me that she was going to get in touch with Frank,
Yeah,
and I haven't,
there hasn't been any, I mean, we could, the only thing is, I can say, we can only do so much. I can't go down to his house, bang on his door, and drag him out.
I'm
John?
gonna make a statement. Jack Cooper from Mass Public Housing, the executive director, just called me on the 3rd, and he said that this group of commissioners is to not even be discussing this. It is the executive director that handles this grievance panel.
I understand that.
Okay, so
Well, we
why
are
are we-
trying
to
to
do?
stay out of this, okay?
But you bring it up every meeting.
That's exactly right.
Well, that's right, because it's mandated to solve any problems, any disputes here, it has
I
to be
understand that,
implemented.
I'm well aware of that,
Okay,
Yes.
okay?
could I
The
just ask?
problem is that we have gotten involved in this issue for whatever reason, and I'm not sure we should be.
That's right, I just
Okay.
heard you're not supposed to be. You're
And
supposed to be.
it's my understanding that the tenants
CRTA
association,
should be the one.
Exactly.
tenants association should be coordinating this. I read that the stuff today. Should be coordinating this with the grievance panel, whoever they are, and scheduling the time and all that stuff. We should not even be involved in this.
And I've been saying that.
I'd
all
like to
along.
know what Betty said a minute ago when these guys were talking. She was explaining something had been
I didn't-
resubmitted.
I didn't hear which-
it because they were a conversation here.
What?
The conversation was that Karen Allers had said today that it's nearly impossible. That, what was it, like 80% of her housing authorities or
Is
something
one
have a
panel.
single hearing officer.
Oh my
Because it's
God.
nearly impossible to get 6 people together and have them all agree to
Well,
be
the
able to come
timing
in on
I
the
don't think
time
they have the
frame
letter
that
with
people work, to try to get 3 people to come in all at the same time. Remember? Right. And that,
He's got it.
for us, and which I have submitted to have resubmitted for a single hearing officer, so that we can go forward and put this to
So we can
rest.
Go for
Yes, and put this to rest.
So you were going to tell Sarah Glassman and the people at DHCD that the single hearing officer is, you're gonna ask
Yeah.
again for that, even though they have denied it in writing to you.
Yes, I
it.
am.
Yeah, it's the same
Yes, I
thing.
have.
I
Yes, I have.
suppose if you grieve a grievance and you don't like the answer, I
I guess
guess it's your prerogative to ask again for,
But what's the problem with having
see, the
three
thing is,
people
we're not
decide
the
disputes?
Pam,
What is the problem with that?
Please, listen. The thing is, we shouldn't be getting involved in this. That's the whole thing, that the tenants association should be involved in this and not us, like I've been saying all along. Only that I
Go for it,
called
Jenny. I don't think I wrote it, because
I
it's a
called-
done deal.
Mr. Adiello,
John has it.
and
She has it in her office. Let her
I
go
don't
get it.
know what has happened. And that's all I can say. So,
Well, I guess,
I guess it can go on record, there's several disputes
All
from
right.
the people that attended the last month's meeting. It's on the video and the website, and we don't like what we're hearing about the minutes.
well, that's
It's
okay.
not
That's fine.
accurate.
That's fine.
And he
So
was
you wanna
asking,
go-
so we will
You
not
wanna go
approve
on
the minutes
record and say that you-
as written,
That's fine.
okay?
That's fine,
That's fine.
yes, if you wanna go on record and say you dispute the minutes, that's fine, that's okay, that's your right.
and you were asked to review the tape so that maybe they could be more accurate, since the one who wrote the minutes was absent last meeting,
That's
all
fine.
right?
You- you
Isn't
can
that what
say
you asked?
whatever you want.
This was not.
Let's move on, let's move on.
Are you gonna run this
That's the end
back
of the
This
discussion.
is-
We're gonna move on. Glenn Fowler,
Yes,
he disputes the minutes.
Minutes.
yes,
And so,
so does Pam,
Okay,
and that's fine,
thank you.
so we will not approve, okay?
So we won't vote on that right now because the minutes are in dispute.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
So we
Okay.
can move on to the payout. The water's all
I make a motion, we approve the accounts,
Did you second the motion, anyone?
Second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded.
accounts payable report.
Yes. That, we approve the payouts. Thank you, Judy. All those opposed? Thank you. Okay, we'll go to
Okay.
the,
You better turn those that way, 'cause they need to.
we'll go to
Huh?
You could, yeah,
the CRT.
just throw them, one of them in there.
Yeah.
I just have to ask a few things.
Thank
Betty,
you.
about, are the toilets all done?
They're all in, yep, all the toilets are in.
Shower heads?
Jeans, I think he just has like one or two more
One or
to
two
do.
shower heads.
Shower heads to
So
do.
the toilets
And they all
are-
run beautiful.
Yes.
It's so much, it's a pure joy not to sit 1 foot off the floor. It's nice to be able to sit like a decent human being.
Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy with that.
Yeah, I was in the hospital for months, about 2 inches when you had to get your wife to help you about pop.
It helps, it all helps. Look, here comes Billy.
Oh, and, also the ice baskets, ice buckets are all out.
Yeah, that's something that Dean, that's
Yeah.
one of Dean's.
Oh, he takes
and I
care of
think that's
that.
all that.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
Dean.
And,
And the shower, we did the shower. They did the shower.
And Leo did a good job with meeting
They did the
Monterey's
shower.
and salting every
Yeah.
morning and.
And the bid closed
Yep.
on the 10th for the ADA compliant with the ramps and the community room. We're hoping to have it done soon so that we can
So that they're,
get this
The
all
bid's
done.
closed.
It's closed, no,
Yeah.
that's,
have you got
as
the
of the
bids?
10th, no.
Oh, okay, so. and
It
on the-
goes to, it's Project Dog that's doing it this time here. They basically do it all. They'll go, they'll review all the bids, they'll actually, check out the companies that have applied and stuff, check their references, make sure that, they have submitted all the documents and stuff that they need to, and then they'll give it to the lowest bidder. So it's probably not gonna be for a couple of more months before anything would actually be started, but we're trying to work towards getting everything ready for them. So we've taken down the,
I noticed
Yes,
that when I
that's
came in.
down,
Yeah.
yeah, getting ready and stuff, picking out colors and stuff like that. But probably a couple more months before we get started on
Well, they have to wait until winter passes before they do the
that.
cement
Start
work
on the
anyway.
side, yeah.
And all new roofs on the top.
And then, like I had just said, we've already applied for a single hearing officer again. That was another one of the things Karen wanted me to let us know that we've done, so that we can move forward with getting a grievance panel set up.
yeah, because it's been a long time.
Yes,
Mm.
we're all tired of it.
Yeah.
We're all tired of it.
Excuse me.
May I say a word? Refer.
Okay. I'm hoping that once everything gets done in here, to be able to replace the tables, possibly even this, get a nice set in here, make everything all kind of like new, modern,
Yep.
in the end tables.
No, I'm sorry.
The other thing is, I think the bill was included in this one. We had the land surveyed out of the parking lot. And we actually own less than what we thought we did. And there's a potential that we have lost 17 parking spots.
Oh, great.
We
All that's
lost.
up on the hill. All the spots that are up on the hill. And the cars that are parked on the bottom, we probably about 3 feet in that we would have lost. So, we're gonna have to just wait and see right
Now,
now.
why do you say
Somebody
potential?
has approached,
Now I see.
somebody has approached the owners of the property over there with questions about liability and stuff, what should happen if somebody had been approached by somebody that doesn't live here, or if somebody approached them by, a resident, or if something should
So
happen to their
someone-
car, somebody contacted the owners.
Someone contacted
Of
the.
Prime Oil.
Okay, so they were not aware that that land was theirs,
They're
or?
new owners,
Yeah,
they're new
they-
owners, yeah.
They've only owned it for a few
Mhm,
years,
mhm.
right?
So because of that, we have had our land surveyed, and like I said, we own less. And right now, it's in their lawyer's hands, so we're waiting to
We're
hear
working with them.
what's gonna be. So there is that potential.
Well, I know we don't own the
Yeah,
land.
that we could
but-
lose it. I mean, they might come back and say we have to pay rent for the parking
Well, that's a
lot.
possibility, but
So we're just
I wonder
waiting.
if we could,
We're just
one of
waiting.
the things that might be that we might ask them to do is to say, okay, we'll pay, let's put an insurance policy on that piece, and
Exactly.
maybe we would pay the
It's gonna cost
insurance.
us, it's gonna cost us for
Well,
something.
it's
absolutely
28
gonna cost.
years
The
has been,
taxpayers.
right, it's gonna
Yeah.
cost money for something that, for 28 years, or for however many years.
It's
Yeah.
been a long time.
It's, nobody's had to
Yeah.
pay for it. So it's just something that we have to,
And the branches that are, do we not say something, somebody
falling
complained
down.
about branches?
They can't-
right, but we
we
can't
can't
do
touch 'em.
anything, it's just something that's not our property.
But
We
do-
can't go and take trees down and,
So you can take the trees down, but, I mean, would they be willing, so nobody has really talked to them yet, I guess.
they've talked to somebody right now, but it's just like I said, it's in their lawyer's hands right now. The owners actually have made a statement that it's in their lawyer's hands right now. There
Well,
was
who are they talking to?
whoever their lawyers are,
I know that,
yeah,
but I mean, who are they talking to from here?
the zoning board.
Yeah.
They've talked to the zoning board. So I'm just bringing it up just to make people aware of the fact that this is a concern with the
Oh,
housing
yeah.
authority.
I guess it is a concern.
A big concern that we may lose 17 parking spots. And we can have enough as it is.
Yeah.
And there's a possibility that we're gonna lose
Excuse
17.
me, we did talk about this last month. Only nine parking places by DHCD. They've known about this since this place was built.
I understand that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. There's a lot of people here that weren't here last month. So from the get-go, there's only been 9 parking areas on our own property.
Yes.
So it's not like this is a big surprise to any of you, I'm sure, because we talked last month about going back 28 years, 30 years, whatever, the very
Like
beginning
40
when it was
years.
built in 1968.
Mhm.
And secondly, if you'll allow me to say this, there are trees on Housing Authority property and branches that are falling. And that tree executive summary report, he is suggesting that the live trees that have dead branches be trimmed. So that is nothing to do with the abutter. That is our own property.
Do we have trees on
And
the
no,
property?
not according to the architect director that came out and walked the grounds of the property. And he's the one that put all this stuff in here.
She's
absolutely
Because
right.
there's
No,
no.
I got the report.
Oh, okay.
I have the report too.
We
And
all
when
have
we
the
walk on
report.
that
We all have
sidewalk,
the
excuse
No,
me,
we're not gonna do this.
when we walk on the
Okay.
sidewalk, it's not on our property?
No. We're not gonna, you know, what I want to do is recognize you and you can speak, but don't everybody speak together. I would like to ask you not to do that,
Sure.
because then we begin to have arguments with each other, and that's not good. Okay? So that being
Okay.
said,
So we're waiting for a report from who?
I'm waiting to hear from their attorney. is
From
what
their
I've been told.
attorney,
Yeah,
okay.
that I should be getting something soon from their attorneys, letting us know what their next step is gonna be, or what they need from
Okay.
us, or whatever.
And when they do send us
Then I
whatever
will let
that
you know,
is.
I will let you know, I will let you know.
thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
There's, so we've got the ice right down.
Mm-hmm. And then we just have one more vacancy, and hopefully,
Okay.
right, it's gonna-
Nomi, could I be recognized before we move on from the grievance panel?
Okay.
Well, I was going to wait, because then, I was going to ask John, and then John can, you can speak.
I want to speak, I don't care if John speaks or not. I'd like to be recognized to talk about what we just spoke about.
After the regular business.
Yeah.
Billy, can I just say, can you give me a minute?
Just what, 1 minute.
Yeah, I know, so let's go with the agenda. I think housing didn't even finish their business, and we went all over the place already before we were. And that's because people just cut it. So you finish your business, and then CRTA will have their time. Thank you.
That has to do with the CRT. Sorry.
And that should be it, basically.
There's the bulletin board. Betty, do you have any rules and regulations about the bulletin board?
No, just usually that we post our notices on the one in the end, and then they have their board over there. Yeah.
Okay, so that really doesn't need to be discussed, other than the bulletin board is there, and people, do they put whatever they want on the bulletin board?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, little notes, whatever.
Oh,
So I can put up something and it'll say, I believe I asked you to speak about the bulletin board, and that's what you're reading from, right, Nellie?
well, yes, I was reading, that's what I was reading from. It says, to discuss the bulletin board, so I thought I'd ask what.
Would you like to recognize me to talk about it?
I guess I can recognize you. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you.
So if that's full of snowflakes and pictures, and that is the CRTA bulletin board,
Oh, I thought it was one.
you know, the other one has become, the little one used to be CRTA. Now it's like stuff from the mill house and what is going on in town, which is wonderful. So when this other bulletin board that is CRTA is there, it was covered with a lot of photos, and then those photos changed to the last social event, and now some snowflakes are moved and there is a notice there. So I would like to be able to put something somewhere, and when I brought in, there was the voting, Mrs. Squadrilli tacked it on the wall to the left, because that was telling people how they could vote, you know, down in the town hall. So I'm just wondering, where would I stick up something? In the past, things have been over there and they either get ripped down or there's no room. I'm wondering where else things could go, or could we have a little more space, or how that would work? I'm asking,
Depend on the subject of the
I'm
thing that
asking
you're putting
the
on?
board.
No, Pamela has the floor. Well, we really don't have any type of rule for the board, because that doesn't have anything really to do with us and the day-to-day running of the housing authority.
Okay.
So.
We can vote in a bigger board then, right?
You know,
You do it.
you take all the boards down, we don't have anybody post anything.
I guess my last comment is, when you have a change in a policy and it gets put on that bulletin board, it needs to get 40 copies made, and it has to go into our possession on the lease. So, you know, things have been changed. We used to have no drinking allowed on the premises. You guys fixed part of that. It's posted there, but we don't have that anywhere. It's only one thing. Miss McGee knows that. We walked over there and looked at it, and that was an addition that you changed something. You changed it from no alcohol on the premises of this entire property to you're allowed to have something to drink in your own apartment. When you post it there, it's not appropriate to only post it there. It has to come back to those of us for a change in our policies, whether it's parking policies,
Your time's up.
common room policies.
Yeah, your time's up. It's
Thank you.
Over 2 minutes. Thank you. Well, note that. All right.
Well, who controls the board?
I do.
Who does? Okay,
one-
so the
CRTA.
CRTA
The
does?
CRTA does.
But I do most of the work there. And I put things about our events,
Interest.
yes, anything that will concern other tenants. But I have nothing to do with policy. That's, you know,
That's true.
There's two different boards.
and I always,
That's-
but nobody has complained about how everything is done, so
No,
I really don't know what the issue is.
That's
I'm
And
trying
I
to
always
understand
check-
what the issue is. here.
Right, exactly. One
That
is
board
the
over there
housing.
is what? Is
Housing.
For housing.
is Housing
And
Authority
housing,
Board?
Yes.
Yeah, these are policies that have been like in effect for.
And I check them periodically
Oh,
in
it's
front
all
of my
up there.
neighbors.
And we can take them down too, we don't even have to post the policies because we give them out to people as they
There
come
you
in
go.
too. So we could take
Solve
them
the
down.
problem, take all the bulletin boards out.
But I like the bulletin boards, and I
Take
put
all
the
the
pictures.
bulletins down.
I like the pictures. It celebrates something that Coach Road members do,
Right.
to put up the pictures.
In
You know,
here, yes.
We do it, and it's good for our morale. Sorry.
Well, someone needs to be in charge, I guess.
I'm in charge.
Okay, you're in charge.
You're it, yeah.
Volunteer, honey.
You got it. Okay, next.
Okay, next.
It's fine. Alexa, please.
You had your 2 minutes. I guess Pamela, you wanted to talk about the bullying law?
Talk about the bullying?
Yes, I think so.
What's that?
I had down that I'd like to thank you for the 3 ice buckets
Yep.
that were added.
Yep.
Then I had down
Yeah,
that
but
there's a,
yeah, I.
right, and then I had down that I would like to find out how the bulletin boards work. And then I wanted to talk about the difference between, going to housing court versus the panel. And,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and so that's what I was talking about.
Oh, that's what number 4 is, resolve?
What does it say?
Yes.
I don't know, I didn't get recognized, I didn't get an email saying I would be on the
This
agenda.
is your email.
Okay, so what is?
Talk about resolve S 1984 signed by Governor Baker, creating a
Oh,
commission.
that's right. So that was presented, remember Vinnie, you asked me about it, and it was handed out at the conference. It's S 1984, and it has to do with the treatment of people in elderly and impaired communities across the state. So it was, the Senate passed it, and then it stuck in the Ways and Means, and then the representatives passed it, and Governor Baker signed it. It's about 3 or 4 pages long. It has to do with lots of different housing authorities and agencies that talk about people needing to respect each other and having the right to do, all residents have the right to do certain things. Everybody. You can't pick out certain people and say, you're a problem, you're a troublemaker, and you have to respect everyone who lives in the community. So it's apparently not going that well in a lot of places, and I can certainly say that I feel very singled out very often here. So mobbing and bullying is something that is illegal, whether it's in a school system or it's in an elderly community. They are having a commission, it has been created now, voted in and passed by Governor Baker. That's called the Resolve, and they are going to have hearings, and they're going to listen to more testimonies from lots of different people across the state. They had to have that to initially to even get the senators to vote it passed. Then the representatives voted, and Governor Baker said, yes, this is a good thing. We can't have this kind of behavior going on. So it is honoring the dignity and the status of each and every person who resides in an elderly or impaired community. And it is going to get to the bottom of what's going on when that doesn't seem to be happening. So it is, that's what it just is. And I was on a website, a webinar that's nationwide. And so Jerry Halberstadt is mentioned in it. John had the paperwork from the same workshop I went to. Vinnie had a copy. Mine are up at the apartment. But people will be testifying for 2 straight months in a lot of communities about what's going on and why we're not feeling all that protected from either board members or commissioners or executive directors. And it is condoned, when it is condoned by management and other people join in, that's called mobbing.
Okay, you've had your 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me just ask a question here. You brought this up, I understand what you're saying. What do you want? I mean, why did you bring it up to us? I'm trying to understand why.
Because I sat in a commissioners meeting and 2 people objected to me. I was referred to the lease as a nuisance tenant, and this chair turned over the meeting to this president, and then I was told I was a nuisance, referred to the termination of the lease. I only stayed in here that meeting, it wasn't videotaped because I had a police officer present. You remember that very well. And Betty said, I'm gonna talk to my attorney, another woman said, I'm gonna talk to my attorney, and I thanked you at the end for giving me a chance to explain that, and at that point in time, I said it belonged in court and not in a public venue like this.
Okay.
So there are issues that are happening right here under our nose.
All right,
Okay,
just
thank
wanted
you.
to
Thank you. Rena.
clarify that.
I appreciate your question, because a lot of people don't get it.
Okay, Millie?
And I don't think that we should be discussing your question, the thing you wanted to discuss about going to court.
I just wanted to say that I have been referred by 3 different people about that, and that does not mean that there is not a need for a grievance panel here. So the panel is absolutely necessary, and I'd like to see if John is going to turn the floor over to Benny about that.
Okay.
Yes, okay, so, that's it. All right.
Whose turn is
Okay,
it?
now we've heard Pamela, we'll go to the CRT. John?
Hello.
Hello.
John,
Listen, it seems to me, all right, that every meeting this grievance issue comes up,
That's right.
all right? I became president about 14 months ago. There was never a tenant association, nothing. Our main goal was to create harmony, get people to know each other, introduce new tenants to neighbors, try to promote things. We've got a lot of cooperation, getting our grill together, we've got the TV, cable, that housing in Spain, and we really do not have issues. What I'm sick and tired of is people thinking that the tenant association is established to create a grievance panel, and that is not what we are created for. We are created to create harmony and see people get along with each other. If every month we're going to address grievance at the housing meeting, there's no sense to it. Nothing makes sense. We've had people interested in being on the grievance panel, but because Pamela Goodwin addressed them, reached out to them to form a grievance panel, she's not an officer. All right? So right there, I shut it down about last January. We reached out to her to try to figure out what was her issue. She turned us down many times, and we have email, we have proof for that. So I'm almost to the point where I would just quit the tenant association because there's no sense in it. I'm not coming in here every month to address grievance from Pamela Goodwin. She's talking about bullying, and I'm telling you, I have some people that just think she is the biggest bully in Coach Road Tenant Association.
amen.
All right? She's aggravating people. She's making up story. And what I'm talking about is truth. All right? Now, I don't care. I'm glad the camera is on.
Stop this.
All right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to have one more minute. All right?
You should
One
stop
more
this
minute.
now.
He's got 5 minutes.
One more minute.
You're supposed to be.
No. It's every meeting. Whether the camera is here or it's not here, it's always the same thing. And this is not what housing is about. They're supposed to work with us. We have an issue, address it. You don't like the issue, you don't like the thing, argue. If you settle it out of court or whatever, that's it.
We need 2 minutes.
No, it's 5. CRTA's got 5.
Take the 5 minutes.
All right, sorry.
Did you take?
Okay.
No, I don't care, I've had it.
This is what we had last month from the wife.
This is what we found.
You remember,
Vinnie?
last
Yes,
month.
thank you. First of all, I disagree with John, the president of the CITA, that the grievance panel is not a very vital and important component of what we do. He has misspoken and not spoken to the board, at least not for me.
Okay.
Okay? Now, getting back to the people, to the issue of the grievance panel that everybody on the board has talked about. I have a letter here from the Department of Housing and Community Development dated November 28th of 2016, addressed to Betty Roach.
We all got that, that's the one that said to go with the three
Yep.
panel. Yeah.
It's
Well, I want to read it, I want to have it,
It's not confidential?
Dear Ms. Roach, we have received the Upton Housing Authority's request to establish, am I?
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go
Go ahead.
on.
We have received the Upton Housing Authority's request to establish a single hearing officer grievance panel. Pursuant to 760 CMR 6.083B grievance procedures, we have received the UHA's request and the response from the Coach Road Tenants Association. We have determined that it appears likely that the UHA and CRTA can work together to establish a three-member panel. We note that although the UHA has been unable to identify additional people to serve, the CRTA has identified 3 people that are willing to serve as panelists and 3 people that are willing to serve as alternates. In addition, the CRTA has provided additional names of people they did not select that have indicated they are willing to serve as grievance panel members. Given this information, the UHA and the CRTA should be able to work together to establish a 3-member grievance panel. Based on these findings, we are denying the UHA's request for a single-member panel and advising the UHA that to implement the 3-member person panel grievance procedure set out in 760 CMR 6, Appendix A. We encourage both the UHA and the CRTA to work together to assemble the grievance panel as soon as possible. If you require additional assistance, please contact Jack Cooper or Marguerite Morales, Mass Union of Public Housing Tenants. Also, this was CC'd to Mildred Gallione. I am John Squadrilli, okay? What the letter has said is that we should implement this now. It's been implemented. Whoever spoke about talking to any member on the panel, and I will get copies, I will get signatures. The panel has met 3 times already. We already have the,
Can we have the names of these people that you're talking about?
Yes.
Because
Frank
we've discussed
Dynamo,
this a number of times.
Steve Minicello.
We can't get a hold of
Can't get a hold of
them. We don't have all these.
I'll get the
names.
signatures from them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
I
That'll
mean,
be your
and
We don't have
without
these
that,
people.
we have from the state.
They don't answer phone calls or emails or anything.
Penny,
I
you don't think we wanna
understand
get
that.
this taken care of? Like we've said over and over again, we're sick and tired of dealing with this. Obviously, if we had these people on the panel, we would have gone through with this.
We
Who
have-
are these people that you're talking about?
The
You have
executive
the names?
director is the person.
Right, but you have the people's names that you're talking about, the 3 additional that they supposedly have, the 3
We only
people?
need, first of
You
all,
only need
we only need a 3-member panel, Betty. And we have the 3 people.
Karen Hollis was here
Karen
today.
said you
This is
needed
how she
to-
said it to us today.
Aaron always said you
Regardless of what
needed to.
Karen says, here is the letter from the state.
This is
That
Karen's
tells us.
book that Margarita gave to you people when you didn't want to hear her talk about it. Karen Allers wrote this manual.
Yeah,
She
we
brought
got
it in here that one time, and that's the same attorney you're talking about.
So, I mean, this has been talked about, I've been talking about this since October, or even before that. And we're still debating this when it's a non-issue.
Vinnie, I don't think we're debating it. It's a question of how do you implement it? Who is going to be in charge of pulling this together? It should not be us.
We can't pull people off the street and
The
force
executive-
somebody to be on a panel.
The executive
You have the
director
names.
is the
No, we don't have
person
the names.
that should be in contact with the grievance
No,
panel.
Fred
No,
has
no, no, no.
She approached Deborah
No,
Desjardins. There's
she
one right
represents the housing authority. She's not the one who pulls it in. If you, I read through this thing today, you know, this document of understanding that you guys put together.
Which we
And,
still don't have an agreement on.
Yeah.
That's another issue.
yeah, well, yeah, but, you know, I did my homework, okay?
Hold on.
And basically, it says, I looked at this and I thought to myself, who the heck pulls this panel together? I mean, who calls the meeting? Is it?
Frank,
Does she?
I know, is the chairperson of the three-member
Okay.
panel. He has called the 2 meetings
Yeah,
with the 3-member panel,
Okay.
just to discuss what we had given them as guidelines
and
for
have you
what
talked
they're.
to them since? Have you
Can I
talked?
ask-
I am talking to one of the board
And
members,
can I
yes.
ask you when the meeting took place?
Yes.
I don't have the
You
date,
have a- yeah.
I don't have the dates
Well,
on me, but I will find out, but I mean,
The point is that the grievance panel has got to establish, whoever they are, has got to say, they've got to work together and say, okay, we're going to open this grievance, we're going to be available to listen to a grievance on such and such a date. And it would seem to me that they contact whoever they have to contact and say, okay,
set
we
the
need you to
time.
show up.
They contact. She
Okay.
has to send a letter to me saying we're proposing this as a date. This is this woman's job to contact whoever has the grievance out. It happened to be the first one on the list, and she hasn't done it. And now she's gonna demand a single hearing officer again. You're gonna get in a lot of trouble if you're just gonna ignore a mandate. So this grievance procedure is 6.08 of the CMRs right here, and these officers worked with her last year. You guys talked forever about this 3-member panel, behind closed doors.
Have we,
And this is the
have we
procedure.
scheduled a grievance session? No?
Aaron Ellis was out here today. You were there, I was there, Linda was there, Ellie was there.
I wish you'd call me.
She had said that in 80 to 90% of the housing authorities that she represents.
That's immaterial.
correct.
No, I'm
Correct.
going on what my
Correct.
attorney tells
I
us.
understand that, but the point
Okay,
is.
single hearing officer.
And
We
before-
resubmitted for a single hearing officer. We do not have the amount of people to be on a panel for me to acknowledge that we're gonna actually hear somebody's grievance today. So I'm not gonna send a notice to somebody to say, we're gonna hear your grievance if we don't have a grievance panel.
We
Well, you
have-
have the
we
names,
have
Vinnie.
a
It would
grievance
seem
panel.
to me
You know the
that,
people.
that you, well, okay, so you need 6 people.
A 3-panel.
No, we don't need
3
6.
members will be the one that actually hear the initial grievance, but you have to have 6 people.
Right.
2 people from here, they pick the alternate, and then, what was it she?
The alternate and the.
We have 2 people, they have 2 people, and the 2 presiding members of each side picks the alternate and there. So that, yeah.
That's,
So this is what
Excuse
she's saying,
That's
this is what
not the
she's
case.
going by her regulations, this is what she
The
told
letter
us,
states-
she told me to
Now, wait.
submit.
This is the
Yeah,
state
but where's
lawyer
that?
who says one thing and you're telling me another.
the state
This is
is,
the manual.
This is the state saying 3-member. Have you received a copy of this?
I'm sure I did at some point in time. And
It's
I'm
very
gonna-
clear.
I'm gonna-
It's concise, it's clear, and it determines how this is happening. And what we're hearing is no.
You remember her standing here saying that the lawyer can make a recommendation, but the association voted for the 3-member panel. DHCD recommends this Appendix A 3-member panel. The state law provides for it, our lease provides for it, and that's the issue, okay? So if
And,
you
excuse
can act,
me, Pam, and we have an active board meeting.
Wait a minute, you
Ma'am.
let her, you need to let her finish so that we don't get too conflicting.
you guys heard Margarita Morales talk to you as a committee. She brought this manual
I
from Karen
understand.
Hours,
Yeah, I
and I
understand.
just want you to understand that she's written in this letter, Margarita Morales and Jack Cooper, those are the 2 people that are gonna try to fix this thing, all right? In February, Lisa Taylor wrote you guys all a letter She got it, I know, I got it, Millie was shown a copy by Maggie, and it mandated Margarita continuing to work on this situation. It shouldn't be this hard to get us our rights, because by now she's moving around to a lot of other towns in the state.
Okay.
But she's mandated to be here, and she's not gonna come every month to these nighttime meetings. Just
Well,
implement
this
this.
is not the grievance panel here, okay?
No, but he's right, there's no memorandum of understanding, and all of a sudden John says you have till February. You've had it since last June. There seems to be a real problem with getting a memorandum of understanding, of recognizing a valid tenant association, so it's not a social club. And that's the issue, is this woman has stood and told this gentleman, I don't want an association here. It's starting to look like nobody wants an association here, and that's what kind of stinks. We are established, we have officers who don't honor the bylaws right now temporarily, and you're listening to a gentleman that has been fighting for this. I fight for this. The ones that aren't here are wanting to be able to go before the 3-member panel. You cannot turn around and demand a single hearing officer. She's already done it. So
All right,
instead of a
okay,
recommendation.
Okay. Len?
I just wanted to point out that about 3, maybe 4 months ago, we began this discussion by saying you can't find anybody that's interested. Following day, I went out, I found 5 people that were interested. And the following day after that, I found 2 more people that were interested. And since then, I've given you a list of those 5 people.
Memorandum of understanding today, okay? That's the second or third time I read it.
Me too.
Part of the deal simply says that someone from the Housing Authority and the Coach Road Association should meet and work on this document. This document is designed for a very large
Right.
housing
yes,
authority,
yeah.
okay? I mean, it's got, yeah. It says the authority recognizes CRT, okay, so you negotiate on, I read somewhere that,
Over 250 units.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
there are things in here that really wouldn't apply
Yeah.
here necessarily.
Right.
So, I don't know whether anybody from the Tenants Association, if you want us to sign this document, you need to be meeting with somebody from this group,
Yes.
okay? And I'm stupid enough to say, I'll volunteer,
And I'll volunteer.
There you
okay?
go.
Okay, so that's
Any
2 people,
agreement.
that's
I'll
all you need.
volunteer.
All right. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it can be more than one,
Okay,
all right?
so all go. You
But-
don't have a different perspective.
I just, we gotta get this thing off the ground.
Yes.
It is.
And can I say something? When this started, I volunteered to meet too. No one called me, no one asked me.
Don't look at me, I'm not an officer, you heard him say that.
It's okay, I
The
still love you
officers that
anyway.
have to do
I
this,
understand.
and you just had Benny volunteer.
Well, the thing is, you don't need one of these
Yes,
if
you
it's
do.
under,
I was gonna speak.
Yes,
if it's
No.
under 250 units,
It's
okay?
No, that was designed by
numbers are-
Margarita Morales. It's
Oh.
a memorandum of understanding. It doesn't matter whether you have 5 units, 40 units, 250.
I am just telling you that by law, you do not need one of these if it's under 250 units.
I read it.
Okay? Now,
Wow.
I'm not saying that we can't work on something like this, but it's not required, is what I'm saying.
Some kind of memo is MOU, because that's what they made it real clear. You need some kind of a MOU, or there is
That is
no
what the law says.
negotiating, compromising, or anything else going on.
And that's not what the law says, okay? But I'm perfectly willing to sit down with people, let's talk about this, let's see what we can, assuming that the authority would give me authority to do that. The authority would give me authority to do that.
Could you put it to a vote, so they can vote, actually do a resolution, put it to a vote that Rena, you are volunteering and you're going to work on the MOU with
Yes.
It needs to come to a
Stupid
vote.
as I am.
Amen.
Thank you. It does have to be
Put
voted
it
upon.
into the minutes, make sure it gets written into the minutes.
You have to do it as a vote.
We have to make a motion that Rita will work with the CRT to help get this whole thing straightened out. So,
I'll make the motion.
okay, does someone want to second the motion? The motion has been made and seconded that Rita will work with the grievance panel to get this meeting done.
No,
No, the
CRTA.
And would you write down Vinnie's name in there, please?
And Evelyn Squidrilli and John Squidrilli.
Okay?
One of
The
them.
whole
Yeah,
CRT.
which is, so,
Okay,
all
This
those
is
in
our
favor, all those in favor,
Aye.
all those opposed, okay,
okay.
no opposition.
Rena, can you meet tomorrow at any time?
Probably.
Okay. Because I'm going to meet as soon as tomorrow.
Yes, Glenn.
What time tomorrow? You just can't make a.
I can make anything I want.
Well, you have,
You've gone unbelievable.
well, you have to check with us too.
No, that's true.
Because we have canceled a lot of things when you have doctor's appointments.
Well, you've got a 3-to-1 going on here, and I don't think that sounds like a normal
Listen,
kind of a...
I've got a thick skin, honey. Okay?
I know that, Rena.
The number one issue that has to be addressed is the CRTA a social club or is it a business organization to deal with tenant complaints and issues?
Both.
Well,
It's
it's
both.
gotta be clear that this guy thinks it's a tenant association to deal with party time, and this lady thinks it's to deal
This is
with
what this is all
issues.
about, okay?
It can't be one or the other, it has to be both,
There have to be business meetings.
but you have to have a
I
meeting to meet.
understand that. I read, as I said, I read the things in there.
Once a quarter isn't enough.
Okay?
So I think I discussed about
We're only
this.
supposed to have 4 meetings.
That's a point well taken.
All right, so,
Anything else?
I don't think so.
After that, I don't think there ought to be anything
I
else.
I made the motion.
Second and all.
Okay,
Made second.
all right.